So we're going to check out another video from the good brother O'Shea Duke Jackson where Eboni K. Williams finally admits why rich black men refuse to date her. So let's check this out.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Eboni K. Williams has been a person on social media, I would say for the last 2 or 3 years, really delving in some of the opportunities that black women have with black men, which she doesn't have a great favor for. And a few weeks ago, she was on the Earn Your Leisure podcast. She kind of goes back and forth on her opinions. One point, she's telling black women to go get, artificial insemination. Then on the next minute, she's telling black women to marry while they're in college. She just doesn't know what she's talking about, in my honest opinion, and that's fine. But she is going to drop some gems about why it is so difficult for a lot of professional black women to get married. I want you guys to listen to this clip, and then I'm going to come back.
Because this is going to be controversial, but this is, I think, important. So the problem with this is that, all right, so a 35-year-old single woman who's making $400,000 a year, right? And that they're looking for their equal counterpart. And that makes sense, right? But it's like the difficult part about that is that the equally yoked man who's 35 that's making $500,000, he's probably already in a relationship, he's probably married. The ones that's not married, they're not necessarily looking for somebody that's 35. They're looking for the 28-year-old. So now it's like, okay, you're either forced with a decision to just remain single or look down. Now there is the truck driver. Now there's the UPS man who's a great man, but who's making $80,000 a year, right? Because now it's equal. It's hard to find that equal counterpart. Men, you could be 50 years old, and it's not. The age doesn't really matter.
No, and I've said this, and this is controversial, right? That because of the way society values gender roles, right? So the way in which we find a woman attractive, what are we really talking about under that? And it doesn't hurt my feelings. Let's just say it. People across the spectrum culturally, but we're talking about black people, so let's center that. Black women are assessed around our beauty, our aesthetic, physical beauty, and there's biological reasons for that, and our fertility and our youth. Those are the main things that a man is going to be assessing when deciding if you are for him. And then it's going to be the quote soft skills. It's going to be, do you make him feel loved, catered to, loyal? Are you relatively non-confrontational, not too much pushback or challenges around ideas and decisions? And those are the things that would really make you just highly desirable in the dating market as a woman. Now let's go to men. What makes a man highly desirable in a dating market?
Provision, protection.
It is going to be finances. It's going to be your ability to provide financially and fiscally. It's also going to be your physical's kind of your stature. Like there's a reason why this 666 thing, I think that's really corny, but whatever. But there's a reason why a lot of women will swipe right on men that are at least 5'10", 6 feet. They want to feel there's some physical dominance coming from a man. Then you've got, just kind of age. There's a reason why older men, like you just said, bro, like 50 plus, that's not a deterrent for most women because that presumes more stability. That presumes you've lived life longer and you can probably protect and know and help and navigate these spaces better and more effectively than I can in my youth. So you're right, kind of the way in which we assess and evaluate value.
So far, everything she said, I agree with, as far as men and women go. So let's continue.
As men versus women create an inherent conflict. I will add one little caveat though to the scenario you laid out, where you've got these 35 and up women who've got these big incomes and degrees and all this stuff, but we're not necessarily as desirable to the men that are our age and financial equal, which is why personally I enjoy dating older men because at 40, if I'm dating a man who's 56, there's more likelihood that he will appreciate some aspect of youth around me. Now, that same 56-year-old get a 28-year-old, it's possible. But I'm living this. I'm not just talking and writing about it, guys. I'm out here living this, and I have been for the last 4-ish years since I ended my engagement. I do find that can be a sweet spot for some women that are in that like 38 to 45-year-old range, you know.
So I think that many of us, after listening to that, could really agree on what Eboni K. Williams is talking about. She's leaving out something, all right? And I want to give a shout out to Psych Hack's YouTube channel. He does a very good job of breaking these things down. But he said the other day that I was watching the videos, Mr. Psych Hacks, the guy says, listen, men have worked so hard all of their life to get to where they're at. Now, when they have the ability to have options, why would they give it up? Okay. Shout out to Orion Teraban. And check out his channel, guys. It's very good. Why would he give that up? And as I'm thinking about this, the guy's right. First of all, if you're a black woman that makes $400,000 a year, I make $450,000 a year. That doesn't mean that you are better in my life than I am without you in my life with all of my options, okay? This is what Eboni K. Williams and other ladies don't understand. What man's life will change because you are there? That's something that we can ask as men without the pressure of society saying you need to be a father or a husband. We know that their lives have a better chance of changing because most women are coming into a man's world. If a woman makes $400,000 a year and you make $500,000 a year, yeah, she will pay something, but you're expected to still provide for her. She's gonna be keeping the majority of her money. And then if you divorce, you're the one that has the most to lose. So now, what would I gain if I'm an older man? I'm 40, you're 40, you have all that money. When you marry me, hey, I already probably don't even need you in my life. I got my own money, I have my own investments, I have my own home. If it's about a cook, I can do that. Or I can hire somebody to do that. If it's about sex, I can definitely get that covered, right? If it's about my free time, I definitely got that. I don't need to take you on vacation with me as you're nagging and stuff like that. I don't need it. So then why should I change my life for you? I can only do so and make the sacrifice if you're gonna bring value. Here's something that ladies should consider. Men like sports, football, right? And then I'm gonna give you a concept that we talk about in football or almost professional sports in America, the topic of free agency. Now, there is a salary cap in free agency. It's not unlimited. And a salary cap means that you just can't spend, past this amount of money. So the resources are limited, right? In sports. Think baseball, I don't know if they have a salary cap. They used to not have a salary cap, but in NFL, there's a salary cap. So what that means is I only have a certain amount of money to spend. And if I'm gonna sacrifice for a player and pay a player a whole lot of money, that player needs to be very productive. Like with the Jets, they went and got Aaron Rodgers. Here's what happens. A lot of ladies are in the free agency, and I largely believe that they want to get the highest bid to be on a team, and they wanna start. You wanna start, but you're not playing well or you're not winning games. If I'm gonna give up the flexibility of my life by myself, if I'm gonna give up, my own personal space, I'm spending my time with you now instead of by myself, I have to adjust my life to you. God damn it, you need to come into my life and you need to make it better than what it already is. Here's the issue. Most women don't feel like they need to make it better than it already is. They're just, you should be glad that they are there. They don't even care about your life to even understand it. So now when you bring them into your life, what are they doing there? Oh, you have less time for yourself. You can't sleep with anybody else. You can't talk to anybody else, And when you're with the same lady all the time, you're gonna have more conflict. Well, what is that? Women gotta understand what they're looking for here. You're talking about a top 5% man or 10% man that you feel like you need, and you don't really have anything that the guy wants that could make his life better. So of course, that's gonna result in you not getting the guy because you never thought about it. Yeah, there are some things that you can do to make his life better. It's up to you to figure it out. No, not this guy should be like, oh, well, you have 500,000, it's 500,000, let's go ahead and marry it. The guys don't think like that. Guys can think like, I have $500,000 a year. I don't need you. I can live in a smaller apartment. I don't need a big house. I'm okay. I can go to Thailand when I want, first class, whenever I want to do it. I can be relatively single, and I can always have different women at my disposal because I can. Why am I marrying you? No lady that I have met so far can answer those questions. That's why Eboni K. Williams and women like her are single. You can't beat the man's individual lifestyle now because you're not gonna get very much from dealing with you. Now, we would know what you would get if you get a man. He gonna come in, pay bills, come in and upgrade your life. But are you upgrading his life anyway? Ain't gonna be financially. That's the issue here. Most women that want these rich guys have not discovered that. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shady Jackson. Back at it again.
So this, especially in the black community, this relationship, lack of relationship fiasco that's going on can actually be solved. It can be solved. Men are simple in just about every way. We're simple in the way that we communicate. We're pretty simple in the way that we live our lives. Pretty simple. Most of us are 100% honest, and sometimes to a fault, but I would never say the truth is a fault. But some people would look at it like that. They would consider you to be rude or mean or something like that. So I don't give a shit. But the way that you women get the outcomes that you want, figure out the type of man that you want, figure out what he wants out of a woman, and give it to him. And don't switch up just because you all of a sudden your feelings change. Your feelings, women's feelings, gonna change hour by hour. It's only temporary. So that'll solve all of this nonsense.